in about your site, what you have, what you don't have. I would like to mention that you can still use Google old sites. It's still there. The classic site is what it's called. I'd recommend you not, though. The new site is so much easier. It's drag and drop. It's basically click here. You can have a site up and running quickly. It also has multiple templates, and one of those is specifically created for teachers. So it's laid out in a pretty decent format. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. It's one of those, yes, start with a template, in my opinion. Put in the information you want, move it around, change it however you wish. One of the things that I like to do, I suggest, is when you're creating your site, make a copy of your site. So when you make a copy of it, then you can use your copy as kind of your test. And then when you're ready, make your main, just do the exact same thing to your main site without messing up your main site. So you can always play with that copy site. And actually, sometimes you'll find your copy site works great and you make that your main site. So there's different ways to do that and how you publish it. So you really use your copy site just to test everything, make sure it works. Then your main site, of course, is what you publish to the world. Because, yes, Randy.
I was just going to add, I shook my head yes as someone that has made one, but I've only done that since signing up for the course.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I just wanted to put that out there that it is very user-friendly. I was able to just follow the prompts on the screen, and I made a homepage, and I actually went to Teacher Pay Teacher to look at an example of a template that you could buy, but it just gave me the idea of, so basically I have the structure set up, but nothing on the page, but I have an announcements page, and then there's going to be another page that says areas of study, and then it has drop down sub pages for every subject. One will be for homework.
Perfect.
Another page is going to be class policies.
Yeah.
I can't remember right now, but it was very user friendly.
It is.
I'm very interested to see today, like what the other purpose is. And I like the idea that Tara said about her teams composing one and how it can work along with Google Classroom. That's all new to me. I had Shutterfly also for years.
Sure. I did too.
Haven't updated that, in forever, but I kind of copied and pasted some of the same stuff so that it's a meet the teacher page, as well as hopefully more of an interactive, useful page during this remote learning time.
Absolutely.
But, so user-friendly for someone like me who didn't even know what Google Sites was until you put the course out, the name of the course, and I looked it up. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, great. Again, I would start with a template. I think, Brandy, what you did is great. Take what you've already created. If you have a site, copy and paste it right in there. It's not a problem. It works really well to do it that way. Maybe the formatting's off. Super simple to change your formatting, your background, all those different things. So it's a lot different than the older site, which was convoluted. It was very difficult to learn. And again, this is super simple. I will bring up my website and we'll start from the beginning on creating a new one and just get you guys started so you can play around with it. If you already have one created, few tips and things that they've added, I'd like to show you that. So there's lots of new things that were just added just in the past few months. And one of those is a banner page, which I find fascinating because what a great way to get information out that you want parents to know about and our students immediately. And remember, Google Classroom is great for students, but not for parents, giving you minimal information. So when you combine the two, make sure that Google Classroom in the sections, you can have it under the announcement area. You could have your website there all the time. So you could always keep the links to your website there. So that's a suggestion I would have. Of course, and whatever you send out to your parents, just make it a habit that your website's there. Also, I would suggest that once you're comfortable with your website and you feel it's very useful for parents, add that to your signature file in Gmail. So just have that as a link in your signature file in Gmail. If you have any questions on that, just send me a note or whatever, and I'll show you how to do that very quickly. So it's basically just a quick link to your website. Then parents will know my website, or however you want to describe it, and then they can click on the link in your email and go directly to your website and check it out. So consistency, again, getting parents familiar with where to look for information. I really do like, again, maybe by grade level, teams, however you would create a website so that parents, again, know where to look. So many parents obviously have children in lots of different grades. So a little differentiation is fine, but I think at the grade level, it'd be great if people work together to keep it consistent. So that's my spiel on that, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is bring up my website, go over a few things, and then after that, we can go into how to create a website and what that would look like. So let me do that. Go back here. So you should be looking at my website now. Notice up here, and for those of you that had the session with me about the Promethean active boards, here's just a quick link that goes up that I can change at any time. Then, of course, we're at home. I also customized this with the chaox.org label here, or little icon. Your title, just a quick welcome message. And then I added a little shout out area here that I'm going to update as time goes on with link. And then, of course, this summer training, sign up, information about Google Meet, since that was a big issue with remote training. And then this section I've had on here for quite a while. I plan on changing it, but it has a ton of information about Twitter and other social media. And then under my Google section, notice how these headings, some of these have something underneath them. The Learn by App on Google will take you then to, in this case, Google Assignments, which is a totally different thing than Google Classroom. Okay, if I go back to Google Calendar, you can see then I have information about Google Calendar. And I use the same format on each of these. So here's information about a Chromebook. Notice that the background itself is the same on each of these. What I ended up doing here for the icon is I just did a search for Google Classroom in this case, saved the image to my desktop, and then just pasted it in here and sized it the way I like. Okay, everybody with me so far?
Can you customize the top, like what kind of drop downs you have, or no?
So customize in what way? These are all customized. I mean, these are subheadings or what all these are.
Well, I'm saying at the top you have like home, Google, Ed Leaders Network. Like, would all of ours say that, or could we customize that?
No, I created all those pages. So each one of these labels that you see is a page. It's a separate page that takes you to a different location on the website. You can change it, and we'll get to that. Well, you'll see when we edit this and look at it. But you can have these down on the left side, I think on the right side, wherever you wish, and you can name these whatever you want. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if that was like you got to choose templates so that it would look just like that, or if we could make it our own.
Yeah, you definitely will make it your own. This wasn't a template. I built this from scratch, but I would suggest you use a template and get used to it that way, and then see if that works for you. And then maybe you don't like the template because you have to change so much, and you just created from scratch. So,
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then under here, the drive section, I actually have subfolders under that. So if I click drive, it's going to show me docs, forms, sheets, and sites, and slides. Again, trying to keep the same format throughout. And then again, Gmail and contacts, all of these different categories are underneath this page, so to speak, is what you call this. And then yes, Ed Leaders is something I added. More resources, so education links. Got lots of information here to look at. I did create a security section. So this tells you how to sign out of all your other sessions. So if you're signed into multiple devices and you can't remember which one you haven't signed out of, maybe you were at a friend's house or somewhere else, this is just a security tip on how to sign out of that, even though you're not there on that device. So you can sign out of devices even if you're not on them. And then a little bit information about Symbaloo. I have a substitute teacher page here, and then about contact, which little information here. Okay. Again, super easy to create this. I can always click back home, come back here. Let's say I select an item, and there's the page. Okay, so that brings us back to Docs Home, which we really don't need to be on in this case, but that's okay. So I'm going to go back here. So what I would like to do is show you guys how to create a new one from here. So the easiest thing to do is open a new tab as we usually do. I'm just going to show you, just type sites.google.com. Okay, we ready for that? So you can do sites.google.com. If I remove this, this is what the old Google Sites looked like. The main page. On the left panel under Sites is New Google Sites. This is what you want if you're at this place. Now, some of you may be at a different location. So before I move on, I want to see where everyone is at. Okay. Speak up if you're not at the new Google Sites.
So we would want, even if we don't have one, instead of pressing create, we press new Google site?
Correct.
Okay.
Because what it's doing is it's taking you from the classic, building a classic website, which is like a few years ago. This new sites has been out for quite a while, and I totally recommend you just do the new sites because the features of the old sites will be going away, and they're implementing and integrating all the old stuff, or most of the old stuff, into the new. If you have an old Google site, there is an easy way for it to convert to new sites. If that's the case, please contact me and let me know. And I will help you do that. It's a quick way that Google will actually convert your old site to a new site. So that should work pretty well. So if you're at the main site here, or the template site, if you just choose class, and everyone can do this, takes it a little bit, but it'll bring up this template with a background, of course, already. Class name, obviously you can name that. Just kind of peruse this a little bit, and you can see how it's set up. This is fairly new, this template, which I kind of like. Notice where I'm at now. You have student sites, links to all of them, parent sites, and school forums. So they really set this up nicely. And then at the very bottom, you can put your name, email, and phone number if you wish. I'd be careful about the phone number part, especially on a site that is public. So if you send out a site that's public, that means anyone in the world can search for your site. So I'd be real careful about putting your phone number there. In fact, I'd highly recommend you do not. Any questions so far? Okay. So let's say you want to change the name. Easy enough. Just click here, just like you would on any document, and change it to and there we go. Notice that you can bold it, italicize. The text can be changed. So if you wanted this to be different, you want it to be, instead of a title, you want it to be a heading, subheading, and really small, but we'll keep that as a title. So centering it or not, insert a link. So maybe you would have this link to something else. Clear the formatting completely, so it would just basically make it a default, or delete it. So this whole box, the whole thing then would be deleted, and you wouldn't have a heading here. Over here, notice that you can do a class logo, or add a logo if you want. So we're going to get to that in just a second. So this has 3 pages. So this template is set up with 3 pages. Your home, which is everything here, schedule, and a newsletter. And again, you could create an ad to any of this. So really easy. So under this Google Sites, let's just start over here. You have insert, a text box, embed a web link. So you want them to go to a website, include an image. So you could insert an image or insert a document from your Google Drive. If you insert a document from your Google Drive, you will have to change the rights on that document to public, because if you don't, then parents will not be able to access it. So, I mean, backtracking a little bit, I feel like most of you will be using this site for students and for parents. That's probably going to be your primary audience, and maybe grandparents and so on. But
will it prompt you to do that, or will you have to do that in like your Google Drive before embedding it?
well, once you embed it, you'll have the option, of course, to open it and make any changes at that point. Now, I know obviously when we do documents in Gmail, and if I send you a document in Gmail, if you're not specific to be able to view it, it will ask me in Gmail to add you as a viewer or an editor. So you can change it at that point. We can try something here and just see. That's a
I
great.
just had, like, with remote learning, I just had a lot of trouble. Like, I was trying to make like math worksheets and stuff digital. And so if I would say that they could be like a viewer, it would still prompt me sometimes to allow them access. And so I just didn't know if this would be the same kind of thing.
So here's my suggestion for that, so that you don't have to make changes every time. Remember that in your Google Drive, you can create a folder and create the folder so that everything in that folder is accessible to the rights that you give it. So to explain that further, you could create a folder in your Drive, and in that folder, you would make that folder public. So anything you put in that folder would automatically be public to parents and anyone else. Obviously, you want to be very careful about that, but anything you put in that folder, again, would be public. So no matter what you took out of that and linked to your Google site, would immediately be available to everyone. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to make a separate folder. And so
I would definitely do that. I'd create a Google Sites folder in your Google Drive. And then if you have information you want to bring to it, make copies and put it in there.
Okay.
Let me see if I can bring that up on a folder. If that way I can show you guys what that looks like. So I will go to give me 1 second here. I'm going to try something before I share this. Okay, remove that. Okay, so now you should be able to see my Google Drive. Everybody see that? Okay, great. So in my Drive, if I just, let's say I want this at the root of my Drive, which is going to be the main area, new folder, and I'll call this Google Sites. So now I have a folder called Google Sites. If I right mouse click and then choose share, then if you click get shareable link, I know it isn't very intuitive. Then under here at anyone at Collinsville Unit School District, click the drop down, then click more, and then choose public on the web. No one has to sign in or anything then. So then when I choose save, and done, anything that I put in this folder will be public. So be very careful about that. Notice that it has the torso here showing that it's shared. It's a shared folder. So I'm trying to find something. Give me a second here. Trying to find something I'd put in there that'd be public that's no big deal. Maybe this one. So if I made a copy of this, Then I could take this and drag it up to my Google Sites. It'll give you a warning here like it does. And then you can move it. So if I open my Google Sites, now I have a copy of this document, and I can add this document then to my website and know that it's public. Okay. Checking with everybody. How we doing? Okay. Everybody got that? I know, again, I went fairly quick on that. Questions on that, again, please ask me and we'll look at it and I'll help you with that. But just be very careful. I can't stress that enough. Anything that you put in that shared document, again, would be viewable to the entire world, but it will also save you a lot of trouble with parents saying, I can't find that document. I can't see it. So you'll want to make sure that you can do that. All right. So we'll go over a few of these and I'll change some things. Notice all the different things down here. If you want to create a table of contents, you can do that. Image carousel. If you have multiple images that you would like displayed, you can have an image carousel that will flip through all your different portraits. Create a button. So a button link, you can insert that. Divider, of course, dividing between sections. I have not used the placeholder, but it's as easy as coming over here, upload and put something inside here, maybe a quick YouTube video, and it will, as you can see, it moved it right here. But let's say I do put something in here. Let's just select an image. Do a Google image search. There it is. I can crop it, uncrop it, insert a link, so on. Notice I can delete it here, duplicate it so I can have multiple, and I can change the size and color of it. If I don't like where this is at, I can move it around, just drag and drop. That's the best part. And again, if I don't want it, just delete it and it's gone. So I'm not going to go over every one of these, but you can see you can add your charts, forms, sheets, slides, docs, add your own map into it, which is cool if you want to show where your school is located. Parents should know, but by the district website, but you could have a link to the school's address. Create your own calendar inside this, which is very helpful. YouTube videos, again. Layout, how do you want it to lay out? This template already has a specific layout, but you could change it quickly. Notice that you can add all this. And the best part, of course, is undo last session. And you can always go back. Okay. So again, notice where things are located. If we go to pages, you can see the 3 web pages created: home, schedule, and newsletter. So under home, you can duplicate it or add a subpage. You can do the same with any of these. So let's go to schedule. Same thing. You could make this the home page instead. Duplicate properties. So you want to change the name. Instead of schedule, change it to something else. You're not going to work with that, I'm sure. And you can hide it from navigation, which means you're working on it, but you don't want anyone to see it. So you're basically creating a page, but you're not ready to publish it or let anyone see it yet. And of course, you can delete that page. And then newsletter would be the same thing. So if we click on home and we click plus, you can either create a new page or a new link. We'll do new page. And we'll call this pictures. Notice it put this page second, but maybe you don't want it second. Easy to drag. All I did is drag it and drop it. Super simple. So now under this page, it kept the same format because this is a template, but maybe you don't want that. So you can change the image, upload your own image, or select an image from somewhere else. So we'll just go with this one just to make it quick. And there's the background. So then maybe under here, I go back to insert, image carousel, and then you can upload your own images and put them all in here.
I had a quick question about that.
Yes.
Not that it's super important, but I was wondering if you knew what size we need to make it to where the picture would actually fit nicely in that banner.
So it will allow you to adjust the size of it. So it's not going to be in the banner itself or in this main area here. It would be underneath it.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
trying to change that picture. And, you know, I kind of got into the whole little virtual Bitmoji.
Yeah.
And then it just would not fit there properly. So I know you have to resize it, and I just don't know what those numbers are yet. So I was curious if anyone did.
Yeah, normally it will take almost any size, and then you can change it just by dragging, clicking a corner, and
Oh, okay.
making it smaller or larger.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing you run into again is pixelation, depending on the, you know, the quality of the picture. So I've run into that with my website on quite a few times. But you know, we can do something here real quick and just to see. So upload an image. Now you get to look at some of my pictures here off of my, what can I find? I don't know. We'll just do this real quick. We're going to insert a few pictures. This was a trip in Seattle 2 years ago. Some art. Seattle. The whole rainforest. Oregon. So I just picked a few. Maybe I picked too many. We'll be here a little bit. Notice on the settings then, I don't know what the dots, captions, auto start. Oh, transition speed. So you can have it transition too. So it flips through each of those. Well, I wonder because I clicked out of it if it killed it, because now it's not there. Well, that didn't work, did it? See, we learn as we go here. I have not used the image carousel before, so you can see it's going to be a little different. I won't do as many pictures, so it'll be quicker. Okay. So now I do an insert. Notice it puts it right below this. And so you can drag and drop the corners to make this whatever size you want. Okay. Now it won't. Yes, go on.
I was just saying, this is neat. I didn't know anything about the image carousel, but what I was talking about was in the banner above, down at the bottom on the left, it does say change image.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where every time I was trying to do, my own picture,
Oh,
it was just a super enlarged version of the Bitmoji. So you would see like, half of it. And
sure.
I don't know how to resize what numbers you need to do that, but that way that would be kind of like the stationary picture that's always there. Like this frozen river picture is probably always there.
Mm-hmm.
And you change the ones below it. So that's what I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah, and even this one you can change this anytime you want. Upload your own and such. So if we upload our own, let's just grab one of these. I want it to be fairly plain. So this is going to fill this actual box. So this one, because of it being a heading, okay, because of the type that it is, you won't be able to adjust this.
So I think what she's saying is like on, in our pictures, like you can edit a picture to be a certain size. Do you know what that size would have to be so that it all would show?
I do not. So you can change this.
Because I'm finding the same thing because on Google Classroom, I'm also going to be like a Bitmoji class as well. And so I did like a banner and it has like all different, kids. And so I wanted to do that. But in Google Classroom, I'm finding the same thing to where when you upload that image, it's like you can either see their bellies or like all their heads or like their feet. Like you can't see the entire body.
Okay. Yeah, we'd have to work on that. That's the way to do it, obviously.
I have actually played around with the whole Bitmoji classroom stuff. And I just made it in Google Slides and I just had to change the size of the page layout. And I just played around with it before I even started.
That's a great idea because you can go into the file page layout and change it to even a 3x5 card or whatever you want.
Right. So I just did it.
I've done it to where it was like portrait or landscape, but I guess I've never done it to the size. So that's a great idea. Thanks.
So, and I did, that's not I got it from a Facebook page I belong to.
Oh, so. Me too. Are you on the Bitmoji crazies or whatever?
Yeah, it's been, I even did a class picture this year. It took me all day on a Saturday one day. So, but yeah, sorry.
So.
No, this is the kind of stuff I'm glad you guys, just speak up about something like, if it works for you or somebody or something, please. This is perfect, Heidi. Thank you. It's great. Yeah, like I said, I never profess to know everything, not even close. I just try to show you guys what I do know, what's out there, and you guys can run with it and ask questions at any time. But you can see how easy this is to move things around, to create things. That was just a quick carousel. If you want a divider, now this will be a hard divider between this. Let's say you like this image, this background image. If you want to insert something here, you can keep that image the same. So if you want to duplicate this section, there's another one. To this specific one. Notice how I can delete each one. So I could then have multiple sections of pictures. It's very easy to change things. And as you get more and more sections, it's easy to move them around. So going back, let's say, to the schedule here. Maybe you want this to be above, or you want this background. You can change your backgrounds at any time. Upload, select images for your backgrounds too. So again, definitely something to play with to see what works best for you. Okay. And what you will want to do is see how your website looks on different devices. So if you haven't worked with Google Sites much, you'll really want to see what this looks like on, say, a phone, tablet, or a computer, and you can easily do that with the preview. So when I select this, notice that since I'm on a computer, a desktop computer, it shows that large screen. If you want to see what it looks like on a tablet, choose tablet. On a phone, choose phone. Now you can see exactly what it looks like for parents or anyone else. Notice how this gets kind of scrunched. So this is exactly what it would look like on their phone. So it's almost a must that you check this on every type of device so that you know the view is correct. And then when you are done with previewing, just click the X, you go back. Here's where you share with others. So if I choose this, in this one, I'm the owner because it was created in my account. Right now, anyone in the district can find and view this, but I would want to change this to anyone can find and view the published version, which would be anyone in the world, parents obviously included. I'm going to cancel that for now because we're just playing with this. It's not totally published. And you can also prevent editors, so people that you've given access, from publishing, changing access, or adding new people. So they can make changes. Editors can make changes, but you're not allowing them to basically make it live, make their changes live. I can just, okay, we good on that? All right, great. And then your settings. I really want to show you guys this because this is brand new. So your navigation, do you want it on the top here or do you want it on the side? So if we did it on side, let's go back to so where did it go? Pages, home. Let's go back to home. Really don't even see it then when we change it to side. Looks like top is much easier to see. Your color, but what I wanted to show you is this brand image. That's where I took the K-Hawk icon and put it in the corner up here. So let me go back to that real quick.
I think if you click off the right side where it says like insert pages and all that, you would see it on the side.
Let's do that. And do side. Should save it. Let's yeah, because that's different than it was. Here it is. This is what it would look like on this side. Whatever your preference is.
We can't see it, I don't think.
Oh, you can't see that one. Sorry. That's my bad.
There you go.
I have to switch back and forth all the time and see what's visible and what I'm displaying to you. So yeah, there it is on the side. So that's that change. I don't like that as much, but that's me. Change it to whatever you want. Brand images, again, that's uploading your logos. Maybe you have your own logo for your class. That'd be great. Add it. Upload that image as your logo. So if I come back here, this is the logo that I created. So if I go to edit my site, and I go to the settings, notice the brand image is the KAWK icon here. And the colors. So I use that color. You can see the purple color. And the last part I really want to mention on the settings here that I think is cool is this announcement banner. Like I mentioned before, this is an announcement banner. You put whatever you want in here, your color, showing the banner, or maybe you don't want to show it. Put your message in here, which is of course the first part, and then the button label, which is a button that links to this particular URL. And do you want to show this on every page or just this home page? So we're only looking at the home page. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, so again, same thing here. You have a favicon you want? Not really. Let's see if you can find one. I haven't messed with this part yet on the favicons, but it is available. And analytics, this is something I have not added, or at least got a Google Analytics tracking ID because it is not available for us. It would be a paid version of Google Sites. It would be nice only in the sense that you would know how many people visited your website. So if that was something that interested you, you could do that. Okay. Questions so far?
Well, that kind of brings me to a question because like with remote learning, it was nice to know who got on and who did what. So will we not be able to do that with Google Sites?
I don't believe you can tell exactly who was on unless the analytics are working. But that is something I'm going to check into to see, because I think it'd be really important, like you just mentioned, to know who's looking at the site. You know,
well, and you know, like if we couldn't take an actual grade, as long as I feel like they're participating and getting on and doing, you know, activities,
right?
I have to give them credit for that. And some people don't email you, and some people don't reach out to you. So without that, you know, sort of tool, I don't know how we would know.
Well, you'd really have to. I'd still be using Google Classroom for that, because you can easily know who's doing what through Google Classroom. So even doing a quick assignment using in conjunction with sites, then you'll know if you're pushing it out through Classroom, whether they're doing it or not.
Yeah, I just had some people that I had to email it to because for whatever reason, like if they were on their parents' computer or whatever, they couldn't get on Google Classroom, you know, because of you have to be on your district email. So I had several parents that said, you know, please just email us, you know, because I did everything like a digital, like I did like slides for assignments. And so they would just have to click. So I would just email that out. So without doing that, something like that, I mean, you really wouldn't No, and that would be good for parents too. Like if you have an announcement like during e-learning, you could see, okay, who got on and saw this? Who do I need to reach out to?
Right.
Kind of thing as well.
Well, you would, the only issue with that is that I see is you wouldn't know who was actually viewing it, even if it shows someone's name. That would just be the person that's logged in. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't typically show that that is that person viewing it, because I could be logged in as my wife, or she could have her account up and I'm viewing things without even knowing it. So just as a parent is logged in somehow, you're not sure if the parent's viewing it or if the student, if their kids watching something on under their account.
Yeah,
So,
I just never thought of it that way. I guess I just assumed that if I saw their name, they saw it.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that you don't know for sure. I would always suggest your students make sure that they add their account, if the parents allow it, of course, on that computer. So I run, like right now, I have both my personal and my work accounts, my Google accounts, logged in at the exact same time. They're just under different windows.
Yeah, I do the same.
Yeah. So I would suggest that parents allow students to just log on, add their log on that computer. That way they will get everything. Yes.
Yeah, and most of mine did. I just felt like if they were like on a parent's work computer, they didn't want that.
Okay. Okay. That totally makes sense. They can still log on without actually syncing their data though. So that's another option.
I was wondering, is there a tutorial that exists that we could share with parents at the beginning of the year that would show them how their child could log on to their computer?
I'll make one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, great idea. I always think, okay, what is it? I'm always thinking of you guys. I'm not thinking of the parents as much, and I need to think both ways now, especially.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Another thing is I found that, especially, a lot of our kids do have phones, the apps, they can get the apps for Google Classroom, Google
Yes.
Docs, Google Slides. And what I found is, like, my oldest, who's in high school, he was able to do everything that those teachers gave him in Google Classroom all on his phone. And I found that even my fourth graders who actually did it and did the app were successfully able to, do everything. And the nice thing too is the communication with the Google Classroom. You can easily send comments and stuff back to the kids. Like, I don't know, it just seemed like a lot easier. If some people didn't know that those apps, they can get the apps on their iPads, on their phones, but you also have to encourage the Google Docs and stuff. But I also found some YouTube videos that explained all that too. And I sent that to parents.
Bingo.
But again, not everybody was on board with that because you can't get 100%, especially with the way we had started. But just moving forward, it was just, I don't know, kind of a neat thing.
Great. So I would suggest that on your website that you're creating now, add tutorials there for parents under a parent section.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, you could always couldn't you link the site to your Google Classroom, right? Yeah.
You could add it.
I mean, you could
add it to your Google Classroom.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend that. Again, I would add that to your Gmail.
Okay.
Definitely would put it there under your signature file.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So wherever we can get this information out and make it easy for parents, because that's really what we're looking at here. Yes, it's great for students too, but we can reach students pretty easily with Classroom and other methods. But Google Sites will allow anyone, of course, to access whatever information you want to give them. So I like that idea for using it. Very good. Okay, getting back to this test site, you can also then go to themes, and this really just changes the look of it. Play with it. See what format you like, maybe what colors. Notice what's underlined here is what I'm changing here. Your font style. Just a few things. There's not a lot, but I like that it is very simple. You don't have to think too much about, okay, which font looks great. All of these stand out and they all work pretty well. Okay. When you're done, well, let's go to the more here. You can check your version history, duplicate your site, which is exactly what I'd recommend you do. Once you get going, duplicate it so that you can have your test site and then your main site. And you can take a tour, but the tour is pretty poor, I think. Doesn't really show much. When you're ready for the world to see it, you click publish. Notice in this case, because it is a district account, it will show sites.google.com/cusd.kaux.org, which is our domain, and then / whatever name you give it. And it will just pull that straight from here. Who can view my site? Anyone at the district. If you want to change that, if you said, oh shoot, I forgot, this is for everyone, click manage, come back to here and choose anyone and then save it. Then you can change this name to whatever you want. It doesn't have to be the exact same name as your Google site. I would make it the same though. Be easier for you to remember. And you could just make this name whatever you want again. If this class name is being used already, it won't let you create it. You have to change it to something else. It will let you know that name is already being used. It won't be, that probably won't happen very often unless you make it very generic, because the URL here, not just sites.google.com, but cusd.kaux.org is unique to us. So it would have to be someone else in the district that had the exact same name. And then just publish and you're good to go. Anytime that you make any changes, you do have to republish. The cool thing about this is it will show you after you've published it and then you've made a change, it will split your screen and show you what it was before and what it will look like now that after you publish it. So you really get a great idea. Okay, is this what I really want? But I highly recommend that you always look at come back here, always preview it in the different formats. Again, making sure that this is going to work. No matter if someone has a phone, a tablet, or they're on their desktop computer. Okay. All right, for now, I just wanted to stop again, see where everybody's at. Lots of room to play. Lots of time for you guys, I guess, maybe. I don't know, depending on this summer, how things are going and such, but many different things that you can do here to build your site. Has this been helpful? Be honest. What else were you guys looking for? Anything else that I missed?
I think this was a really great start. I think that, you know, I have to play around with it to really get a feel. But I do appreciate you doing this because I think this is going to be way better than Shutterfly. But
Shutterfly was getting to be a problem. Yeah. And I forgot what all the arrows were, but or problems were, but there were quite a few that I ran into because it's been a few years now. And I know that was an issue. The thing is, again, this remote learning like this, even with you guys, is difficult because I can't walk around the room and see where you're at. I can't help individually and know, especially something when you're creating something instead of just listening, right? You want to see what everyone's doing. And for us to all try to share screens and things, it's going to be kind of difficult. So I just have to get out the information, let you understand how easy this is to use, really, and to build your own. So let me check the chats here. Okay. Got a question here. Perfect. Yep. Okay. Leah would like changing classic sites to new template. So that's something that I will contact her directly and help her with that. Again, if anyone has any need to change an old site to a new site, we can do that. What I'll probably do is create a quick screencastify that shows all the steps on doing it. Then it's just a short little video. And to new. All right, you guys gave me a lot of ideas and such too. That's going to help quite a bit. As usual, please reach out to me on anything that you guys come up with, not just Google Sites, anything that you feel like I can be adding to my website. I'd appreciate it very much. You know, what information do you feel it's missing that would help me? And obviously I'll help you in any way I can. If I don't see you guys for a while, this has been great. Many of you I've saw pretty much every day or multiple times for sure during this time. And I appreciate it again very much. Any other questions? All right, again, you'll probably just need to play with this and hopefully as you go along, send me a question and we'll figure it out, okay? All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Take care.
thank you. You too.
Bye now. You're more than welcome. Take care.
Mike, Mike,
Bye
thanks for
now.
having these. They've been very helpful. Take care. Have a good summer.